The movie kicks off with Columbus thanking the audience for tuning into their story. He explains that in their world, zombies have evolved and gotten smarter. They've even started naming them, beginning with the dumbest ones, called Homers, who serve as their main source of entertainment since they don't have YouTube. Then, he introduces the Hawkings, named after Stephen Hawking, who are the clever zombies that can even unlock doors to kill. Finally, Columbus describes the sneakiest zombies, called Ninjas, who quietly ambush their prey. Cut to Columbus, Tallahassee, Wichita, and Little Rock outside a zombie-infested White House. They fight their way through and take over the building. Inside, Tallahassee declares himself the president, but Wichita disagrees and jokingly nominates her sister, Little Rock, as the vice president, who plans to take over when zombies inevitably kill her sister. Columbus has rules for surviving the apocalypse, and one of them is enjoy the little things. He tries to make the White House feel like home, even though things get a bit weird, like when Wichita asks him to cover Lincoln's eyes because he slept on the couch after his blindfold fell off. Meanwhile, Little Rock tells Tallahassee to find someone for himself, but he's obsessed with his car. Beast. Little Rock dreams of getting married and starting a family, but Tallahassee insists that they are her family now. Columbus describes how they treat every day like Christmas, especially after Wichita gives him a first edition of Tolkien with a sweet note inside. Tallahassee then gifts Little Rock a gun, a Colt 45, which once belonged to Elvis Presley and was gifted to a president during a White House visit, but she's not thrilled about it. Little Rock, frustrated with not finding anyone her age, decides to leave. That night, Wichita feels down, and Columbus tries to comfort her by proposing. But Wichita, scared of divorce, hesitates and requests some time to think about it. The next morning, Columbus is hopeful she'll say yes, but instead, Tallahassee shows him a note. Wichita and Little Rock have left. In Tallahassee's beloved car, Beast, Wichita tells Little Rock she's trying to teach him not to get too attached to anything. Wichita, annoyed at Columbus, tells Little Rock she's lucky not to have a boyfriend. They soon pick up a young guy named Berkeley. A month later, Columbus tries to distract himself by shopping, but Tallahassee tells him to stop moping over Wichita. They stumble upon a zombie, and while Columbus considers taking it down, Tallahassee steps in and finishes it with flair. Columbus jokes that it wasn't quite zombie kill of the week material, an honor he says belongs to Jack Siderman, who killed a zombie with a harvester. Tal then informs him he has Native American blood coursing in his veins. As he starts stories about his Blackfoot ancestors about how they used to hunt buffaloes by herding them off the cliff, Columbus walks away to check out some fragrances. He bumps into a girl named Madison, who immediately hugs him. Tallahassee learns she's been living in a freezer through the whole apocalypse and thinks she's not too bright when she asks if he dislikes her. Ignoring Tallahassee, Columbus invites Madison to join them at the White House. Once there, Tallahassee, annoyed by Madison, pulls Columbus aside and suggests they ditch her, but she interrupts, asking Columbus for a tour. As they reach Lincoln's bedroom, Madison jumps on Columbus, and despite his attempts, he can't stop her. After a while, Tallahassee hears a loud noise and goes to check it out, with Columbus following close behind. They break open a door and are shocked to find Wichita, who claims she's back to get some ammo. As they laugh, she reveals she's actually lost Little Rock. She explains they met a guy named Berkeley, which annoys Tallahassee, but Columbus calms him down. She adds that Berkeley is a musician who survived without any violence, making Tallahassee even angrier. Wichita then adds she heard them talking about Graceland, and the next morning, Little Rock left with Berkeley. Wichita asks for their help and ammo to find Little Rock, mentioning that there are new, evolved zombies that are faster and deadlier. They agree to help, and Tallahassee says they'll leave early in the morning. When Wichita and Columbus are alone, she apologizes for rejecting his proposal, hinting at a new beginning, but Madison arrives and ruins the moment again. The next morning, Tallahassee hopes to travel in his beloved Beast, but is crushed to find a minivan instead. He complains about going to Graceland in such a car but reluctantly agrees. After loading up, Columbus and Wichita argue about who ditched whom. Madison shows up, ready to join them, even though no one wants her to. They let her come along anyway, and Tallahassee angrily unloads his stuff from the minivan. During the ride, Wichita teases Columbus again, so he has Madison share how romantic their first meeting was, contrasting it with how Wichita had stolen his car when they first met. Meanwhile, Little Rock asks Berkeley for some weed, and he eventually shares his stash with her. Back on the road, Columbus and his group spot a bus by a bridge. Tallahassee uses binoculars to point it out, and they head toward it. As they go, Columbus tells Wichita she's mean, while Madison is sweet and innocent. Wichita isn't happy and sarcastically says Madison must be Columbus's soulmate. As they tease Madison, Columbus tells her to ignore them. They get close to the bus, and Madison rushes to get inside, setting off the alarm and attracting zombies from everywhere. Columbus climbs onto the bus to guide the others as Tallahassee and Wichita take down zombies one by one. He's so focused on helping that he doesn't notice a zombie sneaking up behind him. Wichita shouts just in time, and Columbus dodges and kills it. As they start to relax, a zombie grabs Madison's foot, but Columbus saves her. Suddenly, a mutated zombie appears. Tallahassee shoots it, but it dodges the bullets. Even after a headshot, it gets back up, and Columbus calls it the T-800, noting it's harder to kill. Tallahassee keeps firing, but it won't go down until he finally blows its head off with his foot. They get on the bus, excited to continue in style, but a flat tire forces them back to the minivan. A bit later, Madison gets sick, and Wichita tells Tallahassee to stop. Madison throws up and runs into the woods. Wichita and Tallahassee insist Columbus put her down before she turns into a zombie. Reluctantly, he approaches with a shotgun. Madison panics, but Columbus calms her. 2 gunshots ring out, and he returns, telling Tallahassee to drive. That night, they arrive at Graceland, and Tallahassee is thrilled to be back on Elvis Presley Boulevard. But his excitement fades when he finds the place in ruins. With no sign of Little Rock, they drive further and spot a nearby hotel. They are thrilled to see Tallahassee's Beast parked outside and hope Little Rock is inside. Entering the hotel, they find it filled with Elvis memorabilia. They split up to search for Little Rock, and Tallahassee spots a piano, playing his favorite song. Suddenly, a woman named Nevada confronts him, demanding to know why he's there. Wichita and Columbus arrive, and Wichita asks about Little Rock. Nevada says Little Rock left a few days ago with her boyfriend and has no idea where they went. Meanwhile, Little Rock and Berkeley are heading to Babylon, a peaceful commune for young people, while a zombie horde chases their car. Back at the hotel, Tallahassee and Nevada bond, and he shares his love for Elvis. Tal demonstrates how he impressed the hottest girl of his school by performing his Elvis moves in the library, and the trick does its magic on Nevada too. The next morning, Little Rock and Berkeley reach Babylon, where they learn guns aren't allowed. A guard melts down Little Rock's gun to make her a pendant. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Tallahassee hears a noise and discovers his beloved Beast has been crushed by a monster truck. A man named Albuquerque appears, and Tallahassee argues with him. Wichita and Columbus are stunned by how similar Albuquerque and Tallahassee are. Then, Albuquerque's partner, Flagstaff, shows up, looking and acting just like Columbus. After a detailed conversation, they realize they have the same rules, just phrased differently. Inside, Albuquerque and Tal argue again and talk about whose partner is better. Suddenly, they hear noises and rush to the windows. Spotting T-800 zombies outside, Albuquerque and Flagstaff head out to fight them, refusing Tallahassee's offer to help. Everyone watches as Albuquerque and Flagstaff fight off the zombies and confidently return inside. But then Nevada spots a bite mark on Albuquerque's wrist. He tries to act normal, but soon shows symptoms. He reveals that Flagstaff was bitten twice, and Flagstaff, also trying to stay calm, ends up vomiting. Both quickly turn into zombies and attack Tallahassee and Columbus. The girls try to help, but bullets don't work on them. After a tough struggle, Tallahassee manages to brutally kill Albuquerque, and Nevada saves Columbus by shooting Flagstaff in head. Later, as they leave the hotel, Nevada tells Tallahassee to come back if he survives. Tallahassee, Columbus, and Wichita continue their journey in the minivan. After some time, they come across a circus truck and find Madison inside, claiming she missed them. She explains her sickness was due to a nut allergy from eating trail mix, not a zombie infection, and thanks Columbus for not shooting her. As they drive, Columbus reflects that he and Wichita are meant to be together, but Madison's return has complicated. They are shocked when they spot Babylon's tower in the distance. As they get out of the car, Tallahassee throws a bomb inside the minivan to destroy it, leaving the others confused. At the gate, the guard refuses to let them in with their guns. Tallahassee argues but eventually gives in to see Little Rock. Inside, they find Little Rock with her new friends. She's surprised to see them and privately tells them they won't fit in, as the people at Babylon are against violence. After everyone leaves, Tallahassee feels happy seeing Little Rock with her new friends. Later that night, he tells the group he's leaving, feeling the West calling him again. He says his goodbyes and gives Little Rock some strange advice that she doesn't understand. As he drives away, Tallahassee runs into a T-800 zombie and then sees a massive horde headed for Babylon, drawn by the fireworks. He quickly turns back and warns everyone of the danger, ordering them to cut the music and fireworks. When Berkeley pretends to have a plan, Little Rock breaks up with him, calling him a fake artist. Tallahassee is pleased but focuses on organizing a defense. He rallies everyone, explaining that while the T-800s are many, they have bio-oil that can be used against them. He plans to set the zombies on fire and asks everyone to make gauntlets for close combat against stragglers. They set up traps, and Little Rock and Tallahassee prepare a firework wheel to lure the zombies in. Once everything is ready, they light the traps and prepare for the fight. The T-800s break in, and Columbus and his friends scramble up a safety tower. They anxiously wait for the explosion, which finally goes off, wiping out most of the zombies. But soon, more zombies surround the tower. Tallahassee and the group fight bravely, but soon realize they're outnumbered and losing hope, until Albuquerque's monster truck barrels in, crushing zombies. Nevada is behind the wheel, coming to the rescue. They mercilessly mow down more zombies until the truck rolls over. They escape the truck and enter into a building, where Nevada runs out of bullets trying to hold off the zombies. Tallahassee steps up, using an axe to distract them and leading them to the roof. On the roof, he makes zombie history with the first American zombie jump, holding onto a hook and causing all the zombies to jump after him to their deaths. Columbus calls it the zombie kill of the century. But two zombies grab Tallahassee's leg. He yells for help, and Little Rock shoots them with her Colt 45, saving him. She admits she forgot to use the gun earlier because she was high, which makes Tallahassee laugh. Wichita then says yes to Columbus's proposal, and they kiss. Madison and Berkeley kiss too, leaving Little Rock single once more. The next day, the group drives away in Tallahassee's 1955 Elvis Fleetwood Series 60. When Columbus suggests going home, he explains that home isn't a place, it's the people you love. The movie ends on that note.